Hey and welcome, I'm Hammy, something a bit different for the channel today. Now Sundays ongoing are going to be when I share some new different videos with you. Game thoughts, video essays, previews, and a whole bunch more. Now for you Overwatch fans, do give this a go, and I've Overwatch videos coming up in the next few days and indeed weeks. It's going nowhere, so never you fear. So welcome once again to Unwrapped. If you have another name, let me know. In this series I'm going to give my early thoughts and impressions on games I've just started playing, or games in early access or alpha beta testing phases. I'll talk about the background of the game a bit, the game itself, my playing of it, and preview and my initial thoughts all sprinkled in. In this video we're talking about a game that came up as a surprise for me and I've not been able to put down. They Are Billions. So firstly, what is They Are Billions? So what if you take these zombies of, say, The Walking Dead or your favourite zombie show, put them together with a SimCity style gameplay experience, a bit of StarCraft or Command & Conquer, and then mix it with base building in terms of, I don't know, Theme Hospital, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Planet Coaster, and then tower defense as well, Plants vs Zombies, say, thrown in. That sounds eclectic, but it's really, really fun. The year is 2160, you are in a steampunk style society on a far planet, there are only 8 surviving colonies, and there are billions of zombies around that you have to protect yourself from. With up to 20,000 units possible on screen at a time, this game is quite crazy at points, but you can control that craziness. The game's early access at the moment is a survival mode, but there will be a campaign or story mode as well. In the survival mode of They Are Billions, a random world is generated with its own events, weather, geography, and population of the infected zombies. You must build a successful base and colony and military force that must survive for a specific period of time against increasingly challenging swarms of infected. Your goal is to gather resources, build yourself a nice base, structures and walls to protect yourself, and at key points in the game, survive against those huge waves of zombies that get bigger and bigger coming at you. This is made by Numantian Games, and they've done a big job with They Are Billions. This is kind of their breakout game that sat in the top 10 of the Steam charts for purchases for several weeks after it went into early access on Steam in late 2017. So, what's all the fuss about? So what does a typical game of They Are Billions look like, and why is it so enjoyable? Firstly, I'll summarise a few things about the game. Now, the tagline for the game that the developers have given this is strategy, not performance. And I think that's important to emphasise. Some of you might be wondering, it's real-time strategy, it's like StarCraft, I'm going to have to keep a billion things under control at the same time, in real time, and I'm not quick enough. Well, I'm not a very good StarCraft player, but this is not like StarCraft in the sense where you have to keep all your decisions moving in real time. There is this tower defense-y aspect to it, as well as base building. Now, the best way of describing this is imagine that during StarCraft you could press pause at any time you wanted and pause and make decisions and do things at any time you liked in a game. They Are Billions has this capacity. You have an active pause. Just by pressing spacebar, everything freezes and you can take time to plan where you want to build your structures, what units you want to build, what you want to have a look at in terms of what's going on around the map, look at information, and so much more. And for this reason, it's got strong elements of, as I said, tower defense and kind of a city building or building sim as well. So what did I say? Theme Hospital, SimCity, and this kind of thing? Well, you need to build homes. Building homes gives you more colonists, and more colonists mean that you can keep more military units building and support more different structures. Resources you need to gather and build as well. You need to mine them, you need to farm food. These things allow you to upgrade your walls and structures, as well as make better units. Wood and stone build walls and structures, iron and eventually oil help you make more advanced units, and gold simply buys stuff. It's generated by having more colonists. You also need energy. This provides power for all of the colony structures, including your base defences. This can be from things like mills to power plants towards the end of the game. Finally, you have a cunning array of base defences, everything from simple ballistas right up through to big electrical Tesla-style towers that zap things down. You can also build an army of troops to do so as well. Now, They Are Billions has depth to its gameplay. One key element is preventing an infection spreading should it get into your base. If the zombies get in, everything's not necessarily lost, but if just one infected breaks into one of your buildings, everyone inside that building is then infected, multiplying that zombie by say 4 or 5. This can start, if you're not careful, a chain reaction where zombie upon zombie breaks into buildings, and slowly the increasing numbers very quickly are more than your base defences and army can deal with. This can generally lead to your downfall, so you got to keep an eye on that. This in turn unlocks a deeper level of strategy. You can patrol your surroundings to prevent single zombies or smaller groups getting in. You can create base defences and choke points, and even if the zombies get in, employ Scorched Earth, basically deleting and destroying buildings the zombies might take over as you fight to try and keep your base alive, and push away the oncoming tide. So that's how you play. What are my thoughts on the gameplay and what I enjoy about it? Well, it's interesting in this that the game doesn't allow cheat saving, as I call it. You can't save unless you quit the game, and when you save, it saves it at the precise game state you're in, and you can't return from a previous save before everything has, say, gone south due to a horde of zombies overrunning your entire civilization. Do remember you can pause for as long as you like in the game at any time, and you don't have to sit there for the entire duration of a game of They Are Billions. You can save and walk away in a quiet moment when everything's peaceful and serene in your base. This is a very good game just to start with if you're frequently being interrupted in your gaming or unable to sit down for longer periods of time. Well, as for the gameplay, my thoughts, this very much for me passes the first test. It is very, very Moorish. I would recommend playing it on the default difficulty setting to start with, and then tweaking it harder or easier as you find it. You have to remember that it's challenging but fair. It's not Dark Souls or Demon Souls like, but it shares elements of that in that you learn from your mistakes, and if you lose or fail, you generally understand and know why. Did I, for example, try and take too much territory, wall off too far, get greedy, and then not have enough units to defend my new walls? Did I, like me on several occasions, just simply leave a hole in my base or ignore a part of my base defences? If you lose, you learn from your mistakes, and that is a big part of the fun. There's no better way to explain this than by showing some gameplay, so here's a sample of my first few games and many, many failures. These lasted from about 5 minutes to the more successful ones being a couple of hours long, and I certainly took breaks. I didn't have to sit there and play for 2 hours straight. Gonna be better this time. Okay, I progressed. Refactoring misfortunes. That's so true. Such a true indication of what happened to me on this fateful day. Right, okay, so I've learnt. Come on, repair. Like the big evil force is on the way, and I have enemies to. What? Oh God, they're in again.
Tell me your darkest thoughts, Bullseye.
No, not again. Not the exactly same place. Oh God. Oh God. No. No, come on.
Here we come. Bring them on.
Oh, here's the big zombie. Okay, right. Great. That's just. Oh, look, I've got a barracks again. Build rangers. Oh look, I've got walls again. That's great. This time is going to be the charm. Even longer this time, even longer. I'm going to be able to actually use oil this playthrough. That's my challenge. And everything is dead. Everything is dead. This is what happens when you don't pay attention for just a few seconds. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh no.
They are attacking the colony defenses.
But although I failed a lot, I was having so much fun and learning as I went that every increasing attempt I did, I got better and better. Now, here's what the final wave looked like when I finally got there. Hey, this is Hammy. This is my They Are Billions final wave. Oh my goodness. I love the fact that they just unveiled the entire map. And you see exactly how much stuff I failed to clear out even before the big waves. What happened here? I'm never going to survive this. You can see where I did clean out the map a bit. I kind of cleaned out the map a bit here, but you can then see, yeah, I didn't go down to the bottom right. And you can see why this is now an issue, because, oh my god, it looks like most, so yeah, I'm going to get... And as luck would have it, I can see that the one bit of my voice was thinking, oh, I should reinforce that, and that's already gone. Oh no. Right, my Thanatos can certainly slow this down. Oh no. Well, to be fair to this bit, this actually doesn't seem to be doing too bad. Seem to be holding there for a while. Ditto maybe for here. Maybe this choke will hold for a bit. That's actually okay. This is slowly going to be okay, I think. Slow that down there. Gotta do, yeah, that's got no chance. Absolutely no chance. Here, might be alright. Nothing coming there, typical. That's already gone. It's a shame. Didn't manage to get in there, so that's screwed. And
They are
This thing
attacking
gives me
the
look at
colony
this.
defenses. The infection is spreading across the
work.
colony.
Ready to burst some infected.
No. Oh god. Now, although I've still not lived to the end of the map, I don't want to turn down the difficulty, and if you're worried about this being too hard for you, do give it a few tries and then turn it down. You can decrease the zombie concentration on the map to start with. You can actually increase the time you need to survive. That gives you more time to recover between zombie waves and more time to plan and prepare, and other difficulty settings can be tweaked to give you your perfect balance between challenging for you and it being too hard or too easy. And if you really want to challenge, you can crank that difficulty up higher too. I've always wanted one more go after finishing a game of this. Even though I failed, it can be very, very satisfying, and you can play it either like a real-time strategy game where you don't pause, or you can pause as much as you like and take your time and plan and do it very, very methodically. Whichever style of gaming you prefer, you can do it with They Are Billions, and I really, really like that as a feature. So that's the gameplay. On the visuals and audio, and my thoughts about that. Well, this is early access. The visuals are nicely detailed. I like the style, the little shuffling animations of the various zombies. There are different, harder zombies that get mixed into later waves. They all have their own visual signature and sound, which is pretty cool. Your base, your buildings, the different tech levels with wood and stone all look very, very nice, and the unit animations are certainly fit for purpose and give them a little bit of personality. The UI is clean and does the job. If you've ever played a base building or real-time strategy game before, you'll be pretty familiar with how placing buildings works and grouping and commanding units to go around. As for the sound, well, the zombie effects, I have to say, are excellent. You have some great stereo effects when you're panning across the map. You can actually hear larger concentrations of zombies and smaller ones, and the difference between them just based on sounds a bit, only around the edges of the fog of war, the place that you can actually see or you have vision over. So that's a pretty nice feature. If I had one little nitpick, and it is a little nitpick, some of the voice dialogue is a little bit cheesy at times. For some of them, like the Thanatos unit who fires rockets, that adds to the charm. They're a cheesy action hero. Some of them are just a bit odd. The Ranger unit, the Archer, for example, does have one rather odd line that you get occasionally. I'm not a prude. It just feels out of context to me, the way she says a particular line that she says. Really, that's picking a very, very small nit with what is a great fun game, and the state it is already. In summary, every game is different. You can unlock different maps, different terrain types that have different spacings of, say, water, resources, and different things like that. There's still a campaign or story mode to come as well. So it's a lot of game that's a lot of fun for what it is right now. Good value for that, and I think the campaign should be fun. It'll be the icing on the cake. If you've never jumped into real-time strategy-like games, this could be a very fun place to start. If you like tower defense, base building games or things like that, you should certainly give this a go too. If you want to give They Are Billions a try, it's on Steam Early Access right now for around £19 or euros. That may be a little bit less in dollars. It has been a few pounds cheaper on Humble Bundle in the past few weeks, and who knows if it will come on sale again. The system specs for They Are Billions are reasonably modest, so a lot of computers can play this, probably even some laptops as well. I would recommend this very, very thoroughly if you fancy something a little bit different in your gaming diet. Thanks so much for tuning in to this episode of Unwrapped. What do you think of They Are Billions? Will you give it a go? Did you like this video? What was good about it or not? Should I keep these on this channel or put them somewhere else? I'd love to do more of this kind of content for you. Do let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Sundays will be the days for new videos such as this. I'm thinking of making Saturdays new video games lore or different games lore apart from Overwatch, and then Monday to Friday will be all Overwatch. So let me know what you think of that plan for this channel and maybe a new one in future in the comments below too. Cheers for tuning in. I've been Hammy. Take it easy.